Shane Van Boening won his 5 US Open titles in a 9-year span. He's the last American to lift the Barry Berman Trophy in 2016. The only other player to win 5 US Opens, Earl Strickland, who won his 5 over a 16-year span. As for Jayson Shaw, never underestimate him. Andy, you were talking about the way he electrifies crowds and making the comparison with Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan, and I think it is a valid comparison.
I think it's so important in any sport that you get flamboyant players that the crowd will come to watch, not just because they're fans of the sport, but just because they want to be there and see something a little bit different. He certainly adds that to this game. And I just get the feeling with Jayson, I've hung out with him all week, he's such a lovely guy to be around. And as he is off the table, as passionate about the sport, he is on the table as well. And I just wonder, where's his heart in his sleeve? I just wonder where this game could take him, because you can't get any more difficult than playing one of the game's greatest ever players, 5-time US Open champion, in the States, in his own backyard.
But he loves being the bad boy.
Yeah, people either hate him or love him. Just like Andy said, I've been around him all week. I've been around him the last 12 or 13 years when he first come to the States. He and I became very good friends. I've been defending him to others in the States, because if you get to know Jayson Shaw, you'll never want to get to know anybody else. He's such a personality. He is, like Andy said, great for the sport.
And is it any coincidence that the man who loves being centre stage, box office, won his last major title in front of Pool's biggest ever audience? 3,000 people crammed into that gymnasium in the Vietnamese capital when he won the Hanoi Open in wonderfully dramatic circumstances, beating Albin Auschen hill.
It was also the last time you were in a gymnasium, Phil, wasn't it?
It might have been the last and the first.
Please like for break.
Yeah, the only Jim I know is Jim White, who used to commentate with me.
And a little fun fact for you two, Jayson Shaw and SVB played this exact format in a race to 100. Jayson absolutely destroyed Shane in that race to 100.
So much riding on this. It's not merely a last 16 match in the US Open. This is about pride. And of course, this will resound going forward into the Mosconi Cup later this year.
That's a good sign. Right away, the one going in the left side pocket. He's going to have a look at the two. Not an easy one.
I've seen a lot of players this week struggle with potting that one into the middle bag. Made it look quite easy there.
Yeah, he's got options here. I think he can play this to left side pocket. It's real thin. It's kind of like on the 50-yard line. He might be able to, yeah, I think he's got to go to the left middle. The cue ball's going to be running. Pretty hard not to get a shot. You'll notice the red 3 in the top right. Andy, it's pretty thin. I don't know.
You're not asking for my advice as to what I think Jayson should do, are you?
I think you would have beat Ralph if you would have got up on that 9. I think you'd have beat Ralph 9-0.
I think so.
This is a good sign for Shaw right out of the gate. He'll send a message to SVB. SVB is all too aware of what Jayson can do under the lights.
Let me ask you, out of these two players, who do you think will struggle the most from behind in this match?
I think Shane would have a tough time. I think this is probably Shane's toughest match mentally. Going forward, I think this will be his toughest match. If he gets through this match, Andy, I think he really is a true favorite now to win his 6th title. That's my feel.
A little short on the 4-ball because he thought the previous spot a little too full.
He's overcut it. This is a huge opportunity for Captain America.
Yeah, he's Captain America and Iron Man, all in one. Well, that marathon battle with Fedor Gorsh that you came straight here from. But it doesn't matter how many racks he plays, he just seems to keep going and going and going, even when he's not been playing this week. He's been so visible on the practice table.
This needs to really slow down. I believe the 5 is just below the right-hand side pocket, but if it's not, he's got big problems. Yeah, you don't want to have to play the cue ball off the point because you just don't know where it's going to go. Oftentimes, the cue ball will die off that point. You must be okay. It's not acting like this is too tough. Notice it went off the point. Now he's thin on the 6. Look at those eyes. And those eyes get fixated. He's almost impossible to beat.
Extension cool.
Early nerves from both.
Does that go past the 8? Can't see from this angle. I think it may.
Yeah, Andy, I do think it does. It clearly does, and we see this a lot in the early games. The adrenaline is high, the heart rate's way up there. Jayson, in my opinion, when that adrenaline gets up, handles it better than anybody on the planet.
In cue sports, even the greatest have opponents who get under their skin. I just think Shaw might be the one who gets under SVB's skin. And he's taken the first rack, even though he missed that thin 4-ball. Mind you, Shane Van Boening in this US Open has been nothing short of a colossus.
It is there, 24 years of age. He has captured the biggest crown of his young career.
The 2012 champion of the US Open.
He is the man of the moment here in Chesapeake. History has been made.
And that is it. Shane Van Boening, not to be denied.
Hail Shane Van Boening.
And look at the opponents that Van Boening has beaten in US Open finals. Ronnie Alcano, former world 9-ball champion. Dennis Okolio, brilliant Filipino. Same with Lee Van Corteza. Okolio again in 2014. And the great Chinese Taipei player Chang Junlin the last time in 2016.
Rack 2.
Yeah, and you'll notice that number 5
Jayson
that they
short
just
break.
showed a clip
one
of.
rack to nil.
That was the most important for Shane because it tied his idol, Earl Strickland, with number 5, both with 5 titles. If Shane can pull this off, it'll be a very special week. 1 is down again. 9, threatening the left middle.
That gold break. Usually it's not the white that flicks the 9-ball to send it to the middle bag. Don't often see that.
A little surprised he didn't attack there. A lot of times Jayson will take that bank on, Andy.
Yeah, and he'll be disappointed with that. He's under-hit that by about 6-7 inches. That was, for him, a relatively easy safety.
Yeah, and symptomatic of the nerves they're feeling because that was really tentative.
And the reason I was saying he might be able to take it to the right side pocket is because it would have been a two-way shot. He had cover there with a couple of balls in the middle of the table at the 3 and 6. At least if you don't shoot that, you've got to get him buried under the purple 5. Very containing. Even if Jayson can see the 2. Well, this has turned out perfect.
Wouldn't be too much of a problem, Jayson, to hit this 2 ball, but where it ends up and where the white ball ends up, the white will probably stay there.
Extension, cool.
Try and flick the 2 up to the top of the table. There's a lot of room for error. He's got to find a gap he's looking for.
There's a good view. He's going to have to dig behind this, like Andy said. It's probably going to stick there. He caught it a bit thin. That's why the cue ball finished on the right end of the table. Shane's got a good look at the 2 in the side, but where is position on the 3?
Boening undefeated so far here, by in the first round, then 4 victories, all of which have been in their own way impressive.
It's a big shot right there. So he just wants to find the gap between the 6 and 8 here, I believe. Perfect.
And Andy, you've been out there on that table.
That's it. I've got as many racks as Shane's won so far, but that could change because it should be like shelling peas for him this rack. Tight on that. But this is a huge chance to level the match early on. One thing that I think a lot of 9-ball pool fans won't necessarily know or realise is just how soft you need to hit these balls. A lot of people go to their club and smash them. But did that on this table, they would just rattle in those pockets that are much tighter than they have been for a long time.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think that's the difference between pro players and amateurs, the touch that these guys have.
This is just how this match could transpire, back and forth. The first 2 racks are shared. I know you're going to play in the UK Open next year, Andy. If the pockets at the UK Open next year are as tight as they were this year, you're in for a treat. The middle pockets almost didn't exist.
Well, it's funny you say that. A lot of people have told me that. When I've been practicing in the last 3 months, I've noticed and been stunned at how tight those middle bags are. And it's got to a point where if it's a 50-50 shot into the middle, or I can take it down the rail into a corner, I'm taking it down the rail. Because there is no room whatsoever for error on those middle bags. You have to put them right into the furthest part of it, and you hit the ball harder, and the shot instantly becomes maybe 50-60% harder to pot as well. So you may be watching this at home thinking, how's he missed that into the middle? How's he missed that? I'm telling you now, trust me, I've been out there. This is 10 times more difficult in reality than it looks on the telly.
And I know you've got a genuine love of cue sports. You're now spreading the gospel for 9-ball, aren't you?
Listen, I've been a big fan
Break
of
3.
9-ball since, what,
Van Boening
2007?
break.
When I was lucky
Scores are
enough
tied, 1 rack each.
to present the Moscone Cup for Sky. And I think it's so popular, and it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. I think the reason for that is that everyone can play and everyone can have fun with it.
So that's the biggest moment right there, is the break. He's really focusing on the 1. He did get a ball down. It wasn't the 1, it rattled out of the middle. So he's got the 2 down in the lower left, and the 3 narrowly drops in the right move. He's got a good shot on the one to start it out.
Break, got a sledgehammer.
Yeah, Andy, he hits the balls probably about 3 or 4 mile an hour, and this isn't even a hard break, harder than anybody else on the tour. Even during the cut break, what that means is it's so much harder to hit it accurately and keep the cue ball under control and on the table.
There's a guy playing on table 1 right now against Joshua Filler. He's got the perfect surname for someone who's got an explosive break. His surname is like his break, Bosch. And Mark is 2-0 up actually on Filler.
Well, it looks like Shane will be taking his second rack of the day. We don't see break and runs as often as we used to in this game. When you break in the manner in which he did, and all the balls were beautifully spread, you have to take full advantage at this level.
Yeah, and I think that's a credit to Matchroom when you're talking about the break and run. They had to make this game more difficult. You've got 4-inch pockets. You're racking the 9 on the spot. All of these little things making the game more difficult, and the fans getting educated. They like to see more stuff after the break versus just the break and run.
Yeah, back in the day, Earl Strickland won a match 11-0 with 11 break and run outs. That would be some feat under these conditions. Almost an impossibility, I would think.
Well, we did see change on Lin last year. Excuse me, Ko-Ping Chung last year, 99 out of 99 balls on this very table.
And it was a clean sweep there for Shane Van Boening, who, having lost the first rack, overcut that 6 ball, now finds himself 2-1 ahead. As for the other scores, well, I've touched on what's happening on table 1. Mark Bosch 2-0 up on Joshua Filler. Plenty of pool going on around this arena, and I'll tell you what, I'm sure you'll be back after the break to see how Van Boening can fare against Shaw. A big rivalry. This is day 5 of the US Open, and I'll tell you what, the intensity levels have been massively cranked up. So many big matches going on around this arena. Over on table 1 right now, Joshua Filler, 2-0 down to Holland's Mark Bosch. I'll tell you what though, his tactical game is so underrated because he is a wonderful potter, perhaps the best in the business. Other scores, David Al-Qaedi,
Rack 4.
4-2 up on Michael
Van
Boanen
Boening to
of the
break.
Philippines.
Leading 2 racks to 1.
And Vitali Pachura also 4-2 ahead of Austria's Max Lechner. Pachura or Lechner will play the winner of this one.
I think he overamped him. He did make the ball in the lower left corner again, but he's really trying to make the one in the right side pocket from that side of the table. Let's take another look. Chin thick. So what he's been telling me is that he's got to hit them thinner than you typically have to hit them on the other tables. And all of these guys have started to figure that out on this TV table for whatever reason.
What a thunderous breakthrough from Van Boening. We're 60 miles or so away from Philadelphia. You can almost hear that break if you're having a selfie next to the Rocky statue.
Well, with that joke and the word Philadelphia, all I can say is, Phil, I think that was a little bit too cheesy for you.
Nothing's too cheesy for me.
Yeah, so he's jump a piece of this. flick on the 3. Andy 8 to slow the cue ball down. This will be okay. When you play a carom on the Niners, you're going to come back down into these two balls, 4 and 9. Very close together.
I have to say that is the one shot I didn't practice, the jump shot. I just thought, I tried it a couple of times. It's so difficult to do. And with the small amount of time I had to practice for this competition, I just thought I had to concentrate on playing the game.
He's missed this ball.
Dear.
This is the second ball he's overcut.
Yeah, the 6 in the opening rack, and now the 3 there. That was an easier pop than the 6.
And where the cue ball lied, that tells me he was going to play the carom. 4-9.
Extension, cool.
Shaw probably going to do the same thing. Looks like he plays really well. Anywhere on the center of the table, I think it's me.
And the ball's right over the hole like that. It's so much more difficult to control the cue ball. No cushion to play with. Well done.
Just like that. Van Boning's missed 3 ball has been punished. It is 2-2. I think we're going to see this punch and counter punch right the way through.
Yeah, this is a big error by Shane Van Boening. He's already missed 2 balls. Can't afford to do that with this guy. This guy gets heated up. He can really take control. I also want to say something else. It's a pleasure to work with you, Phil, but it's also a pleasure to get to work with Andy. Andy, I know you run something called Drive Time. It's a talk sports show over in the UK. Definitely hope people tune into that. Take a look, check it out. He's an entertaining man, and I hope he's around for a long time to come on the World 9-Ball Tour.
Well, on the back of that, you obviously got my $20 I sent you in the post. Thank you.
I thought it was 40.
You're very kind words. Maybe too kind for Phil. Phil's heard it way too many times.
I thought it'd be more than $20 for you.
Well, he is from Europe.
Vitaly Pachura, 5-2 up on Max
Rack
Lettner.
5.
5-2 for
Jayson
David
shorts
Arcady
break.
over Michael
Scores
Bowannon.
are tied, 2 racks each.
Okay, when the balls end up like this, I just got to say it. I'm going to be honest. Don't believe the rack was on, meaning something was going on with that rack. Jayson, well, he just got slugged.
Could you elaborate a bit more, Scott? You mean the balls weren't tight, or
Yeah,
the referee's not done his job?
Well, listen, their job is very difficult. He's done a great job, but I think that there had to be a gap or 2 or 3 somewhere in that rack, most likely behind the 9. That's what's caused these balls not to separate real well. I mean, this looks more like a one-pocket game.
All players get frustrated by the rack not working out. Jayson Shaw in particular. After his first match at the recent European Open, chatted with him and he was very unhappy with that particular aspect of the match, even though he won it. It's all he could talk about, the racking.
Yeah, it's the first
Extension,
time
cool.
we've really seen him end up like this, Phil. I mean, we've done a lot of matches on this table. This was just an anomaly. I don't know if you can really accuse anyone of it. There's a great look at how clean he hit that ball.
Yeah, and in terms of refereeing, Ben Taylor Fuente, who's in charge of this match, is right at the top of his profession.
Well, I think this will be a fascinating dish if he manages to get to the very end of it. It's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle. Remove one ball, here's the path for the next one. And as you can see, he's not really moving that cue ball about too much. This is where we'll find out just how much cue ball control someone like Shane Van Boening has got. Just a number of screw and stun shots, yeah?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You had to get some tight areas, and notice very little cue ball movement to get in those tight areas, but it all starts with the first shot. It's making this look very easy. Play the 6 in the same corner. Can he dig below the 7? I think he's going to have to. 7 in the same corner. All started with the long 1 ball that he had to slow roll. These guys typically try to avoid long table roll shots.
Well, I have to say he's made this look very easy. When he came to the table about 3 or 4 minutes ago, didn't look on. His cue ball control has been absolutely perfect.
Shane Van Boening is definitely the darling of the crowd here, and with every justification. He led 2-1, he's back in front at 3-2. I was thinking, you know, about that slowly rolled 1 ball. The shot I recall the most about his semi-final defeat against Johan Chur in the European Open recently was Chur's delicately rolled 2 ball to the same pocket. And when you do that, it gives you great confidence in the straightness of your cueing, and also great confidence in the conditions. Meanwhile, on table 1, it's been a very tactical rack. We saw the start of it.
This all started with the long 1 ball that he had to slow roll. These guys typically try to avoid long table.
So Mark Bosch de Bosch goes 3-0 up on Joshua Filler.
Filler's been running along just kind of quietly this week, Phil. You and I've touched on it. He's getting the job done, but just quietly. He did something special at the Derby City Classic this year. He won the bank pool, the 9 ball, took 3rd in the 1 pocket,
Rack 6.
was master of the table, completely dominated that.
Hitting 3 racks to 2.
Now let's see this huge break again.
He's making balls that he's not intending to. He's okay with it, but he's not happy with it. He wants to get the yellow down.
Fantastic. Puts down his break cue, swaps it back for his normal 1. I think this rack is all about this shot. Get on the 2 ball.
This rack really is all about this shot. What shot he just played. And 3 to 4 looks pretty straightforward as long as he can get out to the center of the table.
It's funny, you get to an early stage in a match where you think this rack is massive. It's still early in the game. Just feel 4-2 lead.
Extension, cool.
Race to 10. Every rack after that just becomes bigger and bigger. For whoever's trading. In this case, it could be Jayson Shaw in the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we're talking about Shane, who's already missed 2 balls, so you know you could actually add another 2 games onto Shane's scores. This too hard. It's going to finish just perfect. Literally just perfect.
Has been near perfect from Shane. So far today, got off to a bit of a shaky start, which is be expected. Where's that cue?
We
Well,
want
off
to
to.
catch the
Foul
7.
strike, ball in hand.
Wow. Wow, such a loose shot from Shane.
Please start the clock.
Yeah, Andy, I think you hit it too hard, right? You hit it that speed, just grazed the 7. The cue ball takes an indirect path straight to the middle.
Andy, you know your football. The analogy here is it's like a team who's had pretty much all of the possession and has got nothing to show for it.
Very much. And up to that moment, so apart from the very start of this match, where both players looked a tiny bit shaky, James looked fantastic, but just look at Jayson. He's not had his hand on the table with a real chance for a couple of racks. And he just gets down and knocks these balls in for fun. And again, we're tied at 3-3. There's nothing between these two.
Jayson Shaw wins the rack.
The script is slightly unconventional, but the fact it's 3-3, entirely predictable. What a match in progress. Welcome back to Atlantic City, where Max Lechner, who was runner-up to Shane, or should I say runner-up to Francisco Sanchez-Ruiz a couple of years ago. He's tried to fight back against Vitali Pachura over on table 2. 6-2 down is Lechner, the man from Austria.
Really,
Getting shaved on the 8 won't be easy.
He's not going to love it. You have to come with a long shot, Phil. Yeah, you don't want to put it. Oh, probably just a straight top.
I'll tell you what, this shot is not easy if you're 6-2 up, let alone 6-2 adrift.
Okay. Rack 7. Jayson Shaw to break. Scores are tied, 3 racks each.
We'll keep you informed about Max, about Vitali, about the other 2 matches going on as well here, but all eyes are on Eagle Eye.
What's the 2 doing? He's going to get a look at it. Not thrilled with it. Sign for him, though. The speed seems to be right. Hitting him as hard as Shane. Shane just seems to amp up. Everybody likes it. It's not good for him all the time. Long tester out of the gate for Shaw.
Please start the clock. Please start the shot clock.
Is that in the first ad break we went to early on in this match, he came away from the table, behind the scenes, he was speaking to his wife. He looked like he was very relaxed and calm. Shane stayed in his seat. The last ad break, they both stayed in their chairs. I wonder if he just feels a little bit more focused now.
The delay here, there is a malfunction temporarily with the shot clock. Gives me the chance to give you these scores from the other tables. David Al-Kaidi 5-3 over Michael Boening.
Where's the referee?
Mark Bosch to Bosch 3-1 up on Joshua Filler. Vitali Pachura 6-2 still over Max Lechner, but I suspect that's just gone 6-3. The way the draw works out, Pachura or Lechner will play Van Boening or Shaw. Al-Kaidi or Boening will play Bosch to Bosch or Filler. And the completed matches at the bottom half of the draw. Well,
Could you please find Marcel?
given us some really good contests this evening. Fedor Gorsh will play Jeffrey Rodder. Kopin Yi, who dispatched Albin Auschen 10-4. his next opponent will be Milos Fine. I think Ben Taylor-Fuente, the referee, is just asked to get Marcel Eckhart, the senior referee, involved, because clearly the clock might not be working.
No. It should be sorted out. Okay. Please start the shot clock. 60 seconds.
All resolved.
Yeah, so I think he wants to use some type of a high right ball. These guys like to punch the cue ball, but I don't know if he has room. That corner pocket looming on the top right side. Oh, what a hit by the straight shooter.
Yeah, especially after that gap. Sitting down, waiting for everything to start working again. You lose that flow, but you seem to.
So what he's looking at now, Andy, is play the 4 in the lower right. That's the pink, just below the 9.
Extension call.
Don't know if he wants to go to that side. I believe the 4 plays in the lower left past the 8. Either side is easy. Green 6 also a big ball. He wants to go forward. So he's going to avoid that at all costs.
He's played that well. He would have liked for that cue ball just to flick off that side rail, maybe another 6 inches. So he doesn't have to dig down on the cue ball.
And I think that's why we saw him shake the head a little bit. There's a look, Andy. He's dead straight in. He's going to take distance now.
At his best, this would be no problem. But this year, he's not been at his best.
Yeah, like Phil said, this time of year he hasn't been at his best. It's been hit and miss, and well, this one was a miss.
Just wonder, that's down to pressure already. Such an early part of this match, because he could have just stunned that in. He's shaking his head, he knows he should have did that.
Yeah, Andy, I saw you miss a
Extension,
couple
cool.
with that speed, and you hit them both real good. I think
Extension,
you missed a
please.
couple balls that you hit about that speed, real deep into the pockets, and the ball just spit out. Just gives you an idea how tight these pockets really are.
Didn't think you'd mention those misses. I'll have that $20 back.
This is a big shot. He's got to avoid the left side pocket. This is going to run hot. Missed the 6 earlier. It was almost identical to this. The difference is here, guys. See, he can use a low right ball, slide over one rail between the 8 and 9.
Great shot. Great shot. Making it very easy. That wasn't anything but difficult. He's played it so well, and again, it looks like he's going to take the lead in this match. Jayson will be wondering what he needs to do to get ahead. As long as he doesn't let Shane run away with it, that's just the most important thing.
Not the highest quality match, but I tell you what, it is so compelling. You have to wonder, are these mistakes the result of the occasion and what's at stake, or the interpersonal chemistry? Either way, Van Boening back in front at 4-3.
Scott, let me ask you that there's pressure on both players here, for obvious reasons. Do you think the pressure that Shane is going through at the moment, not just this match, but knowing that if he gets to the final and becomes US Open champion for a record-breaking 6th time?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Phil just touched on the occasion. Well, these two have such a history, but then you touch on Shane's history. I've been telling Shane to stay off social media. Everything just gets a little heavy for you the closer you get to the end. So I think it's a real possibility.
Now this is table 3. Michael Boening, perhaps the least well-known player in the last 16. The Filipino now trails David Al-Qaedi only by 5 racks to 4. Mark Beisterbosch is giving Joshua Filler all kinds of problems.
Rack 8.
Beisterbosch 4-1 ahead.
Hitting 4 racks to
Vitaly
3.
Pachura 6-3 on Max Lechner.
I really think he needs to take just a tick off the speed here. That's why the 1 continues to go high. At least that's my opinion. He could catch them a fraction thinner, and it might make the adjustment. He continues to make the ball in the corner. If you have a look on the 1, it doesn't seem so.
Not often as well, you see the 9 ball travel to the other end of the table.
The problem with a push out here is that you really can't protect the 1. That's why he's going to go to the jump. He's really stretched out. I think the cue ball's got to land on the 1. Another problem with that is keeping the cue ball on the table.
Yeah, I saw a similar shot to this earlier on in the week, and that's exactly what happened. Cue ball hits the object ball, they both bounce up in the air, and then the cue ball bounces onto the cushion, drops onto the floor. Makes the shot so much more difficult when the object ball is so close to that cushion.
Extension call.
I think this is the right decision, just obviously my opinion, but he can contain Jayson Shaw with this shot. If he executes it, he's going to try and kick it to the left side rail, use the 7. He's caught it too thin. Nothing straightforward.
Cluster 3 reds. So we look at the table to the left. I just wonder if we use those 3 to hide the cue ball behind here.
Call, he didn't want to hit the 9.
He's achieved containment, but from where he was, I think he wanted something more.
This is tricky off the back rail. Shane's acting like it's simple. I think he got a double kiss there, and that's why he's flicked the 8. I'm not certain, but I think he got a double kiss.
Well, he'll be devastated that he's left the 1 on, but the 1 did flick a ball on its way down to that pocket and has made that cluster a little bit more difficult. Do pop, but only into single pockets.
And that's the 8. It's got in front of the 3. Jayson can play the 3 in the left side. This has gotten thin. Andy, Bill, you both talked about how tight side pockets are.
Well, he's got second prize, but this is still on for Shane. He'll be devastated. Those middle bags are so tight. It looked like it dropped in. Look. Hits the corner, wipes its feet, stays out.
If they hit the far jaw, they're toast. If they hit the near jaw, they're toast.
Always about food with you, Phil.
He's going to go to the second rail here. Oh, he's hit it well. 2 rails in the left side pocket using the second long rail. Look at the eyes. When those eyes get on, it can be game over.
He made that look so easy. That's only going into that pocket if it's hit in that exact place. There was no room for error there. That was brilliant.
Shot as tough as the last. Oh, what a sweet hit by SVB.
Yeah, the knowledgeable members of the audience there clapping because that was a pressure ball. And now he's in position to take a 2-rack lead for the first time.
The errors that we've seen early by both guys go back to what Phil was saying. I think it's just simply part of the occasion. Both of these guys know how bad they want it. They've got a huge history.
Doesn't have to be clever with the cue ball here. He's got a nice angle on the 7. Drops this in, tiny bit of left-hand side. Send the cue ball up the table. Pretty much perfect.
After a 2-rail kick, Jayson missed the pop from the left side pocket. Shane in total control.
Just a reminder, this is a last 16 match. It's got the feel of a final. Shane Van Boening halfway there. It's a race to 10. He's on 5, Shaw only 3. Vitaly Patshura a little more advanced. He's 6-4 ahead of Max Lettner, David Al-Kadi and Michael Bohannon. That's tight. Al-Kadi has a slender advantage at 5-4. And we must talk about Mark Bijsterbosch. He's just gone up 5-1 against Joshua Filler, and he was runner-up in one of the major World 9-Ball Tour ranking events last year, the Spanish Open. Lost out to Dang Junhu of China. Joshua Filler, he's having a good year, yes, but not a great year. And now he's faced with another real test. As for Shane Van Boening, if he were to win a 6th US Open title, I think he would be more animated in the moment of victory than at any time in his career. It would mean so much to him to break that tie with
Shane
Earl
Van Boening to
Strickland.
break, leading 5 racks to 3.
There's the amp up again, the 1 high, the ball's colliding in the center of the table. It's not what he wants. 1, just high again. Shaw, an opportunity.
And every time he comes to the table now, Jayson, it's a tiny bit more pressure. He's 2 racks behind. He will feel as though he's not taking his chances so far this afternoon. They haven't been easy. The last rack he'll be devastated with because it was relatively, but he shakes his head. This is such a tough shot. There's a number of ways he could play this. He could thump it in, stun the cue ball off the side rail to hold for the 2. Drop it in dead weight, which I think is such a dangerous way to play this. Decided to play safe. Oh, I think there's a gap.
Yeah, there might. You'd have to jump over the edge of this, Andy. You are absolutely right. He can see the whole ball.
Well, Jayson will be devastated sat in his chair because he will know that leaving a ball like that to someone of Shane's caliber is just, it just can't happen at this level.
Yeah, and what happened there is he cut the 1 too thick. Anywhere, or excuse me, too thin. Anywhere on the thick side, he's got a big cover. This is going to be tough.
But if anyone can solve a puzzle, if anyone can unravel an awkward table, it is SVB. He makes a career out of adventurous run-outs.
looking at the combination here. There's not too much of a gap between the two, but there is enough of a gap for this to go wrong. Did that well.
Yeah, can he punch up just right of the 9, or does he want to come one rail out?
It was all so complex, and suddenly, for him anyway, should be plain sailing.
That's the sign of a good player, though, isn't it? When you make it look easy. And he's certainly made it look easy this afternoon. I feel a bit for Jayson because he will feel not hard done by, but quite a lot of the times he's come to the table and he hasn't had an easy starter. That's exactly what you need to settle the nerves. The last couple of racks he's come to the table and every ball's been a pressure ball. And so far, it's all one-way traffic.
Extension, cool.
You sometimes see this extension used on the 9 ball. If it's available, why not utilise it? Just settle down and make sure you don't make a grievous error. Shane, as he so often does at the US Open, inflicting pain. He's doubling up on Jayson Shaw, 6-3 ahead. Now, this is a subject of discussion, a discussion between the two players. What do you think is occurring here, Scott?
Yeah, from the looks of it, I don't think it's a problem with them two possibly discussing something about the break or the shot clock. I don't think he's giving Shane a hard time, just by the looks of it. I think they're talking about maybe how the balls are breaking, but I can tell by Shane's response it's nothing serious.
Well, as I said before, when I was chatting with Jayson Shaw in Germany at the European Open, he was very vocal about the racking. Maybe you've hit the nail on the head. Now, with Shaw out of the arena, let me give you these latest scores. Vitali Pachura 7-4 up on, it's available. Max Lettner, utilise it. Here on table 1, and make sure you don't make a grievous error. Joshua Phillip to get this rack under his belt. Is this going to be the start? Shane, as he so often does at the US Open, inflict.
Make sure your phones are on silent, please. Rack 10. Shane Van Boening to break. Hitting 6 racks to 3.
Modus operandi for SVB. Power on.
Yeah, well, neither have been great on the break. If you ask me, I feel like Shaw's been better on the break as far as the consistency with the 1. But once again, the 1 not going in and coming down, sitting in front of the lower right corner for Shaw. The 2 a little tricky.
But these are the chances. If you want to get yourself back in the mat, you have to take these. You can't afford to go 7-3 in the race to 10 against one of the game's greatest ever players. I think he's hit that absolutely perfectly. Yeah,
Great power there. Did he kind of land awkward? Kind of in the 50% If he goes to the left side pocket, he's kind of going towards the 3 or the 9. He's a good rub. He's going to get it. Jayson gets going, there's really not much to talk about. It makes it look so easy. 7. That's really the only ball that could cause any problems here. I don't see it.
The only thing stopping winning this rack, the lack of concentration. These are the type of shots he will practice every single day, but look at that, he's fallen short again.
He was very thick on the green 6 ball, and that's why he's out of shape. That
Extension
was an
call.
unforgivable error. Redeemed.
That's a great shot, not just the pot, but where he's landed. That's what he does, he wears his heart on his sleeve. Made that look so easy. Look at that, controlling the cue ball as well, brilliant.
That was superb from Jayson Shaw, because if you recall, in an earlier rack, he badly overcut a very similar 4 ball. Didn't overcut the biggest test in that rack, though. And he's now within 2 at 6-4, a match that is most certainly living up to expectations. David Al-Kaidi grinding away, 7-5 up now on Michael Bohannon. Al-Kaidi, twice World Masters champion, who potted one of the most famous balls in pool history, that length of table 9 ball to deny Alexander Kazakis. Mark Bosch to Bosch still 5-2 over Joshua Filler. Max Lechner doing his level best to draw level against Vitaly Pachura. Pachura's lead reduced to 7-5. And I can tell you, Filler has just added rack 8. He's on the comeback trail.
You know, going back to the talk that those two had during the break, it's got me wondering. I saw a grimace on the face of Shane. He's somebody on the outside, distracting
Rack
Shaw
11.
a little bit. Not exactly
Jayson
sure
Shaw's
what's
break.
going on, but
Drilling 6 racks to 4.
Shaw to break. Obviously, I feel like his consistency on the 1 has been there. As soon as I say that, it goes high. Bill, most of the week, if they're missing the 1, we've watched it go high of the middle pockets.
Quick out call.
Yeah, and not just marginally high, sometimes extremely high.
I was lucky enough to be practicing with Jayson earlier on in the week, and he was giving me some advice on how to break. If you're new to this game, but you understand it, he was basically telling me when I put the white at the corner, ready to break, I'm hitting the 1 ball as if I'm potting it into the corner, so it's a half ball shot. And I'm hitting the cue ball just below the middle, which I did, and I still missed the 1 ball.
Yeah, well, it's easy to do, and that's a testament to how good these guys really are. It's such an accurate hit. So oftentimes, Andy, not just put a little bit below center on it, they'll put a touch of outside on it as well. You'll even see guys like Corey Deuel draw the ball.
Shane,
with
it's your choice.
Extreme low run. There was a push out. This is tricky, but I think Shane will take it on. If he can chip the left side of the 1, track 2 rails down and use this entire wall over here, like the 4, 3, 6, and 7, even the 9 was cover.
Played that well. Playing the shot that Jayson played previous to that, he almost invited Shane to make that shot. It was the only shot he could play. And this situation because of it.
The push out is a game within a game, and there it backfired.
Yeah, well noted, both of you. I think that was a little haphazard. He might have thought out
Extension
something
cool.
a little better because it could cost him. Yesterday, made a jump shot like this. I'm a little surprised he's not entertaining it. I guess there's too much distance. Made a jump shot against Conrad Musician.
Well, he'll be happy he hit it. There's a gap between the cue ball and the one ball.
So if he could cross the one backup table, 3 feet to the left of the 8, an outside cue ball, come down to the lower right and back over to the bottom row in the center, he might be able to get a good snooker. Wondering if he's concerned about the kiss off the pink.
Extension cool.
Could also just roll this one towards the right middle. Use that wall of balls. This is the shot I was actually talking about. He took a little pace off it. Did he find a gap for Shaw?
It looks from where I'm sat, he has a full ball snooker. I mean, there's a gap between the 9 and the 4 is so small that if he can swerve it and bend it round that 9, always at risk of hitting the 4. Can't really tell from that angle, but he obviously can. He's down on the shot.
He's got a shot, though. He's got a cut. The cue ball's going to come off real hot to go into these balls. Does he go into 4? Does he try to hold for the 3 in the lower left? It's the cue ball.
Wow.
You see, that's the positive side of tight middle pockets. The white won't go in either.
Let me tell you something. That shot right there may look so easy, and it's finished very awkward. Coming off that point like that, Andy, you can play. How difficult was that shot?
You made it look a little bit too easy, if I'm being honest. As soon as you raise the butt of the cue, you strike down on that cue ball, you have every chance of putting side, unwanted side on the cue, but he's always missed it. Has he left it? Can Jayson cut that in?
I'm wondering if that miss had something to do with knowing the cue ball was going to be some distance from the green. Where the 7 is, the position that he had was extremely difficult. Shaw made this? I don't think so.
I just feel as though Jayson's a bit frustrated when he comes to the table at the moment. Might be in more trouble after this shot.
Yeah, it's a great touch. Jayson can get behind the 6 on the left side. What can he do with the object ball and the cue ball? That's the question. I think he can get behind it.
He's played that 9 in the middle. Hit the lovely. Lined that up beforehand. That's a is just spectacular. How unfortunate is that?
Yeah, like you said, he looked at that. He really did play that shot. Is he going at the bank? Cross side to the right. Wow.
Thud, right into the heart of the pocket.
This rack is all about positioning on the next ball. And that is pretty much perfect.
He chose to come directly 2 rails instead of going to the 3rd rail. Too steep.
Things going from bad to worse for Jayson. He's going to find himself 3 racks down. That means Van Boening will need 3 more for place in the next round.
And looking as though he's ironclad. He's had some really good results here. Beat Imran Majid 9-5. Looked at the top of his game there. Francesco Candela was beaten 10-6 in the last 64. And then in the last 32, Van Boening beat Duong Quoc, Vietnamese #1. And I'll tell you what, in that match, he gave every indication he could go all the way. Duong having beaten SVB in last year's World Championship. Meanwhile, on table 1, when he won the 7th rack, I suggested we might be seeing the start of the Joshua Filler fight back. The 9 just about limps in off the near jaw, and with that, he's back onto level terms at 5-5. Every match out there is tightening up, apart from this one.
I know exactly how Mark's feeling out on that table, having a lead and then seeing your opponent come back at you. And in my case, crush me.
Yeah, in your second match on the loser's side, you were 3-0 up on John Francisco, and then he won the next 8.
Yeah, okay, Phil.
Just want to remind
people might not have seen. I did have a chance to go 4-0 up. Would you believe I just got a little bit carried away with a shot on the 7. I dragged the cue ball back. It should have been about 2 foot. It went 4 foot. I ran out of position, and the rest, as they say, is history. And that man there, Van Boening, will be thinking about making history because he's edging closer to the end of this match, and that puts him into the last 8. And he could become the first player ever in US Open history to win this title 6 times, and that will be at the front, not the back, the front of his mind every single time he gets up from his seat and walks to the table.
Rack 12. Shane Van Boening to break. Leading 7 racks to 4.
And given the ultra-competitive nature of international pool these days, 6 might be an insurmountable target for the next generation.
That's a better hit. If you notice, there's a tick of speed taken off, just a tick. He hits him so square. When he hits him right, the action is unmistakable.
Should say, Phil, you mentioned 6 might be difficult for the next generation. He's got years left in him. He's only 41. If he gets to 6, who's to say he won't get to 7 and 8?
Yeah, a lot of talk, Andy, has been the match that Petter Gorst and Shane played leading up to this. They made Gorst and SVB heavy favorites to get to the finals.
Scott, let me ask you, when you talk to people about the best ever player to play this game, Efren Raz, his name is, at the top of that pile, and you've got the likes of El Strickland as well, and this man at the table, how do you see these 3? What order are they for you?
It's hard, you know, and I'm definitely not biased because I have such a great relationship with Reyes and Harrah. I think the man at the table is probably the greatest of all time. just because the levels have come up so much over the last decade.
He's an American playing American pool. But the world has caught up in the last 64 here. 29 nations represented. It's such an international game.
Even radio presenters are trying to get in on it, Phil. Well, Jayson Shaw, deep in thought. And deep into this match, he trails. And it looks like it's going to get worse for him. Seems to be no stopping Shane at the moment.
That's what it's all about. You make that adjustment on the break. Either one of these guys can take full control, right? You just have to get the one down and come away with the shot. Lost that one, but he got very, very fortunate. He was real quick in the backswing, caught the lower point, I believe, and if not, close enough.
Not only that, it hit the knuckle and it seemed to send it even closer to the 8.
Yeah, a fraction of an inch from messing that up. Now, though, it is the most simple 9-ball imaginable. For him, a formality. SVB doubling up on Scotland's finest, Jayson Shaw. Eagle eye at the moment, grounded. Other scores, Vitaly Pachura and Max Lechner, 7-7. Shane Van Boening, 7-4. Jayson Shaw, David Al-Kadi, 7-6 over Michael Bohannon, 5-5. Joshua Filler, Mark Bosch to Bosch. Come back after the break. They say, don't they, that in sport, nice guys finish second. Well, Max Lechner hoping to disprove that theory and go all the way at the US Open 2 years after getting to the final. Well, Maximilian, one of the finest European players, still waiting to appear in the Mosconi Cup. Currently putting together a really good fight back against Vitaly Pachura. Lechner behind throughout in the match. Until now, he leads 8-7.
Shane Van Boening to break, leading 8 racks to 4.
Now, at the start of this match, Shane was missing the 1 ball into the middle bag. Last 2 racks, he's managed to pot it. Misses it again. People getting very excited. The 9 ball going towards the corner pocket. Not happy with that. Scott was saying that he took a tiny bit of speed out of his break earlier on. But no success that time.
Jayson forced to roll out here, and if you guys don't know what a rollout is, or you're just joining us, the opportunity to roll the cue ball wherever he feels fit. It's up to his opponent whether he wants to take it from where it lies or not, and then give it back to the person at the table, which is Jayson Shaw. Looking to leave it here. His tip is
Push out call. Extension call.
And also with a push out, it's not just a case of having the option to push the cue ball anywhere you want. You can hit another ball, you can pot another ball. Whatever you do, your opponent, in this case Shane, will have the option to put you back in. It's such a huge tactical shot so early on in the frame.
Shane, it's your choice.
This is a bit sketchy here. This push
Jayson,
out.
please play again. This that shot clock to 30 seconds then.
It's gone too far, I think. I think he wanted to push out to a rail first jump shot.
The reason the crowd are amused, Van Boening didn't even get out of his chair.
He can't jump it, there's 2 balls in the way. It's actually a brilliant snooker.
Foul stroke. Ball in hand.
And the other problem is the 1-9 is looming.
Please start the clock.
Does he entertain it? The reason I mentioned that is the 3-5 problem. You can find some way to clear the 1 as well. It's kind of a free shot on the 9. Speaking of 9, it'll get him to game number 9.
This is absolutely massive.
Extension, cool.
Such a tough shot. There's a gap between them. He needs to make this.
Expect him to hit it too hard that way. If he mishits it at all, he'll take the ball. He'll cut it by some margin. That's the only way you can really miss it. So you hit it fat. But if you hit it just a little fat, the pocket will take the ball. Surprising.
When he missed that ball, Scott turned to me with his mouth wide open, as if to say, how has he missed that?
The shot choice influenced by the awkwardness of the balls. And now what was Van Boning's problem is Shaw's.
How's the 7 going to finish? This is naughty. Not very nice.
Jayson Shaw this year will captain Europe in the Mosconi Cup, playing captain. One of the mainstays of Europe in recent years, David Alcaide of Spain. He's on the hill against Michael Boanen at 9-6.
Let's use a low cue ball here and try and suck back and use the pink. He's caught it too thin. Again, not really, but nothing straightforward.
And look where the cue ball's landed. Gonna have to jack the butt of his cue up in the air, I think. Not easy. Needs that cue ball to keep moving. Needs to keep going, and it's fell short.
Does he go with it? Does he try to make the 2 and go towards the 3? Might go with this. Low ball, it tells me. Maybe going at the 9. He's gone at the 9, and he's got it down.
What a big cheer reverberates around this Harrah's Resort Arena. Jayson Shaw looking daggers. Shane Van Boening, shotmaker extraordinaire. 2-9, all is fine, and 9-4.
Yeah, redemption there, right? He had ball in hand on the 1-9 and missed it by some margin. That was dead perfect.
That was dead, but that was just a joy to watch, wasn't it? The touch, the feel of the cue ball, understanding the table, the speed of the clock, just everything about that shot was utter perfection. And there is nothing that Jayson can do about the form he's finding his opponent in. Van Boening just looks on a different level at the moment.
.29, of course, the combination that Barry Hearn knocked in against Konrad Yuzhishin to win the rack he so badly wanted on his side of the ledger.
I hope you're not putting Shane Van Boening and Barry Hearn in the same bracket.
Shane Van Boening to break. On the hill.
Well, both Hall of Famers.
For different reasons.
Yeah, it was pretty special. watch that happen. We thought Barry won the tournament. He was excited. That's the hit. Once again, he's taken a tick of speed off. That's what he's got to do. He's got so much natural power with his timing that it's easy for him to overhit the balls. Wow. You're cut breaking them. You don't react correctly. You overhit them.
He just shook his head because he was looking to see if that gap was there and he could get through the 2. I don't think it is. It's very tight. Just having to bend it a tiny bit.
Foul stroke.
Oh,
Ball in hand.
Scott has looked at me again, open mouthed.
Well, I think it was on. Just
Please start the clock.
A little thick, obviously, but I think it was makeable, or he wouldn't have played it. That tells you how close it really was.
Now, Jayson Shaw is a streaky player. When he's on, he can be unstoppable. He needs to be that way for 6 racks. But don't write him off.
No, Phil, to your point, this is really where he's dangerous. He can get loose. We've all seen it. There's nothing more fun to watch than Jayson Shaw in gear.
Well, if he does come back from 9-4 down, I think it will be a I was there moment, because the task in front of him is nothing short of gigantic.
He looks at it, which I think most players need to look at it like this, is that you really got nothing to lose. Just let that cue do the work.
And even though it's looking bleak at the moment, the way he plays, the way he can play, he might be half an hour from victory. One small step and all that. Shane Van Boening misjudged. Jayson Shaw didn't miss. 9-5. Vitaly Pachura and Max Lechner tied up at 8 racks each. The winner of that will play the winner of this. David Alcady remains on the hill against Michael Bohannon. It's now 9-7. And Joshua Filler and Mark Beisterbosch, they're locked together at 6-6. This group of matches, absolutely terrific. Very latest, Max Lechner on the hill now against Pachura. 9-8. Shane Van Boening has pulled off some extraordinary comebacks in the past. So too, Jayson Shaw. The thing is with him, he wins racks, rattles through them so quickly. That in itself can be intimidating.
Can, if he gets it right. I'm just wondering there, Scott, we saw Jayson just looking over his shoulder at one of the
Rack
other
15.
tables, looked up at the scoreboard.
Jayson Shaw to break.
Is that
9 racks to 5.
to you a man that's focused enough in this match?
Man, this guy is just special, right? I don't know if that really has much to do with focus. He seemed pretty dialed all week. He's missed the 1, and that tells me a lot about focus, because that's how precise you have to hit this cut break.
Or maybe a tad slower, it may have dropped.
Yeah, exactly. A tad lighter or a tad thinner. Typically when it goes high, it's from a thick hit.
Now what about SVB? How will he approach this tactically?
Push out call.
In the last rack, we saw Jayson get the push wrong, although he went on to win the rack, but at the time he played it incorrectly.
Jayson, it's your choice.
This is extremely tricky. I wouldn't be shocked if Jayson gives this back. Ideally, in a perfect world, you'd like to cross the 1 over towards the 7 and bring the cue ball back down to the right of the 8, or even somewhere around the 8. The problem is that blue 2 is a huge ball. As you try to go down behind the 2. actually tried to get down behind the 2. He caught it too thick. The 1, that is.
Well, maybe a bit of tension creeping into the arm. Every shot now he plays, he knows it could be his last. We've seen how tight these middle bags are. Again, queuing over the 2, striking down on the cue ball makes this even more difficult. Oh, it's a great ball.
There's a lot more to play. 6. Money position. Feel the tension in the room, or is it feel this tension?
No doubt. I said before, it's last 16, but it has the feel of a final.
Van Boening now 6 balls away from booking his place in the last 8. Stay up, all there for the taking.
6. It's on 6 here. I think he's good.
Sure knows the next time he gets out of his seat, it may be to shake the hand of Shane.
In the very first rack, Van Boening missed the 6. Apart from that, it's been a very solid display.
Yeah, so he's taking the steep line. He's going to go back and forth below the left side pocket, above the 8.
Very easy. It was anything but. And I think that means that Shane Van Boening is still on course for a record-breaking 6 US Open title.
Badly timed sneeze in the audience there.
Yeah, this isn't where he wanted to be. By any means, he wanted to go to the left side pocket. That's the position he was headed
Extension
for.
call.
Badly timed sneeze. That's exactly right.
There was doubt about that 9 ball. Shane Van Boening wasn't sure. As the ball went towards the pocket, the heart might have skipped a beat, but it just about flopped in, and he is a deserved winner by a score of 10 racks to 5. 5 matches in this US Open for Shane Van Boening, 5 wins, and for me, he's been top of the class so far here at Harrah's Resort in Atlantic City. Jayson Shaw didn't have much quality table time. He was outplayed by the great man, who, as Andy Goldstein said, remains on course for a record-breaking 6th US Open title. So here are the numbers. You might be surprised to know that they missed 11 pots between them.